Hello and welcome to another edition of Trends with LJE. I am Maimuna Ahoiz Zubair, and today, as always, we will be dissecting trending news topics. Quick on the intro, we're joined by our resident public affairs analyst, Mr. Chidi Iloameke, Dr. Uchiara Ikedi Chris, and a very special guest, Barrister Samuel Meme, President of the Leadership Hub for Justice and Economic Advancement. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Together, we'll be delving into some pressing issues shaping our nation. So let's get right into it. Topic 1, which is the National Police Day and the state of security. First on our docket, the maiden edition of National Police Day in Nigeria, a week-long series of activities to reflect on the relevance and role of our law enforcement institutions, culminates today, the 7th of April, 2025. But as we mark the day, Nigeria's security landscape remains deeply concerning. The Nigeria Police Force recently warned against planned protests by the Take It Back movement, gentlemen, and other planned movements, protests today, though there are still skeletal protests ongoing across cities of the country. In the same vein, the Arewa Consultative Forum has been urging President Tinubu to declare a state of emergency in Plateau State, where over 50 lives were lost in a fresh round of killings in Boko's local government area, and more bodies are reportedly still being discovered. I don't need to tell you about the Uromi killings as well. What does this say about our security architecture and the state of civil rights? Are we truly making progress, or are we just managing chaos? I'm going to start with you, Doctor.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. I want to start by saying that for me, there is no security in the country, because I will buttress this with my points, which stems from every time we keep losing the lives of our citizens, we keep losing our properties, we keep losing so many things that we cannot recover, or the government did not provide for the citizens. So if I am to say in that regards, we do not have security. Going by what is happening in the country, last time it was in Plateau, again in Plateau, then in Delta and Edo, continuously. So looking at this, at what is happening statistically, we don't have security in the country, and that's calls for the issue of establishing the state police by all the states of the country, so that they can bring the security problem we have in this country to a BRS minimum. Thank you.
Chidi, we're talking about celebrating National Police Day. Do you think it's a misnomer to celebrate? What exactly are they celebrating? Is it the lack of, even for them, welfare and lack of personnel? In a country of 200 million plus people, we have about 500,000 police personnel. Yeah. What are we celebrating? The continued state of insecurity in Nigeria. I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Yes, the Nigerian police for many years now has been defunded, and lacks the manpower it needs to run. So I feel it is even good at celebrating, because these are few men who are doing works of millions of people. These people should be celebrated. These are people whose salaries cannot buy half bag of rice. These are people who will use sticks to defend themselves against terrorists that use AK-49 to attack them. These are heroes. They should be celebrated. They should celebrate themselves. Go to Gariki, just here in Abuja. Go to police quarters, and you see the place looking like slum. And you ask yourself, look at their training institute, see the kind of trainings they get, and these people are still doing wonders. Man, they should be celebrated. They should be celebrated every day.
This is a very different state of mind. I'm surprised that this is your own point of view.
They should be celebrated, because they are superhumans with what is happening today. And look at all over the world leaders, headed by, of course, Donald Trump, is calling for EU, the US, to pump monies into security. Because look at the global trend, terrorism all over the world. And our security personnel here are not well taken care of. They are not well taken care of.
Absolutely.
And you see security men attached to VIPs. I don't have exact statistics, but majority of our policemen are securing VIPs who have the monies. And our lives are, evidence is the killings all over the country.
Absolutely.
And our security men and women are there begging for food. They are beggars. And these beggars still go out there under the sun carrying AK-47. In fact, I had said to myself that if I happen to be close to a president, I would say, carry that AK-47 for 1 minute and understand the weight of the burden on these people's shoulders. And they need to be celebrated.
I'm surprised. Like I said, I'm surprised that this is your point of view.
They need to be celebrated.
Do you agree with him, Barrister Meme, that we should celebrate the police despite such lacuna in their processes so far?
Yes, in as much as we're putting so much pressure on them, as you know, that this security we are having in this country is not the making of the Nigerian police force. It is the making of the bad policies of governments, bad policies and decisions of public government officials. And at the end of the day, we push this responsibility down to the police. So somehow we should celebrate our Nigerian police. There's nothing wrong, but at the same time, we should also. But I do wonder if these guys do really bring up solutions to these government officials, because as a police officer, you are, whether for governments, one government to another, you remain a police officer.
Absolutely.
Then you now have these guys coming in, elected. They come in, serve their tenure as a governor. They bring in bad governance, bad policies, bad leadership, tenets. They destabilize the country right before the police. And at the end of the day, you push the responsibility on the police. We are talking about insecurity in Nigeria. Today, we can no longer go to the farm. We can no longer farm. And we are pushing the responsibility on the Nigerian police. But we know the problem. Somehow, we have an idea about the solution. We all know that if you take these guys out of the bush, the herdsmen, by restricting the movement of cow, automatically we have solved 90% of our security issues in this country.
Right.
So is it the police that will decide that these Fulani herdsmen should be restricted to a certain area to do their business? It is not the police. It is the government policies. So the Nigerian police, to an extent, they are doing their best, even though it's also marred with a lot of corrupt activities and all of those things. But we should also give them kudos for the ones they are doing. Because the insecurity, like I said earlier, is not because that the Nigerian police is not being effective, but the government, the people, the elected officials of government, the governors, the presidents, the elected legislators, they have more responsibility to do. Why giving marching orders to the Nigerian police force to do the needful?
Right.
I think this is my stake. But they deserve to be celebrated.
Well, a call for celebrating the police and also a call for increased look at our policies on security. Moving on to our next topic, the Education Minister, Olatunji Alausa, has proposed an extension of the NYSC scheme from 1 year to 2. Citing the need to enhance skills acquisition and national service. Alausa made this call while speaking on Friday during a courtesy visit by the new Director General of the NYSC, Brigadier General Olakunle Nafiu in Abuja. So a lot of critics have already started. I can see Barrister is already shaking his head, so I'll come to you first. They're already arguing that this scheme is already flawed.
Yeah.
Before you even start to include 2 years or anything, COPS members are already currently being paid stipends below minimum wage. And extending this duration could be seen as state-enabled exploitation of cheap labor. So I'll come to you, Barrister. What are your thoughts on this?
We must realize the history of the NYSC and how the reason it was first established. And the reason, we already passed that stage generally. So extending, I think this is lack of focus to say Nigerians are already tired of the 1 year duration. 1 year. And you're not saying they should come up for 2 years. Is that the best they can do? Is that the best? We're even talking about how to, add some of these courses, anti-corruption courses in the curriculum. We've not done all of these things. Yeah. We're not doing social reorientation in our educational sectors.
Right.
Then you are leaving what you're supposed to do. then you are now focusing on those who have graduated, where they're supposed to. Nothing is going on in NYSC camp. There is no training, no meaningful training. Nothing is going on like you want. I think this is not sustainable. It's not possible. No matter, we are even clamoring that this NYSC should be scrapped. And most time you discover that what they use them to do is just to carry out elections.
Right.
And I think this is not the right thing to do.
Dr. Chris, is it reform or another burden on Nigeria's youth?
You said it all, Memuna. You see, I want to say that this is an aberration from our Minister of Education. Come to think of it, what is the essence of establishing NYSC? I was meant to know during my time that it is for cultural integration and all the rest. Now, removing this scheme from what is constitutionally meant for to another thing, I don't know what actually prompted this proposal. You know, I would always say, our leaders don't do things that will not favor them. Where is the place of the people, the youth in that his proposal?
Right.
What is he trying to do for the people by proposing, just like our president just said earlier, that the essence, the main purpose of establishing NYSC is defeated already by the 1 year we are in. We see it as one wasted year.
Right.
And somebody, a father who is in Nigeria, who knows, even himself, he served. He knows how wasteful the 1 year is to the youth, and he's proposing for 2 years. So what is he trying to do for us? Now, come to think of it, before now, NYSC is struggling to pay 30,000 naira. Now, he is clamoring for 77,000 naira, 70,000 naira for 2 years.
Right.
So what actually does he want to achieve by doing that? For me, I condemn it from this place, and it shouldn't see the light of the day.
Chidi, thoughts, very quickly.
Well, Decree 51 of 1993 that established NYSC, tells you the reason for NYSC. Majorly, many of us served in, if not all of us, if I'm correct, I think all of us served in NYSC. The major reason for NYSC is, first, national integration. Right. You understand? Because of the Civil War, the purpose for it. And then also, the reason for NYSC is also to ensure that core members who have skills, who have gathered skills over the years from their primary school, secondary school, university, can go into critical areas of the economy and serve and use their skills to help the nation.
Right.
You understand? So now, with this policy, it is obvious that this administration is not only focusless, lacks focus and vision, and needs its own lens to be changed by a very smart optician very quickly, because it is a blind man leading a blind man, or blind people. As it is, NYSC, the focus should be on how to employ these people. This is a cheap way of our oppressors, the oppressors of our collective destinies, of our collective responsibility in this country, the oppressors of the poor masses, because that is what it looks like. It's a cheap way of excuse why they will not give the poor masses and the general population jobs.
Right.
In fact, talking about skills as the reason why the minister wants an extension, who should give skills? It is at the primary school level.
Right. Skills
are taught, and they should be taught adequately. Secondary school level, skills should be taught adequately. University level, what are our laboratories producing? What kind of scientists do we have? What kind of lawyers do we have? For those scientists in the natural sciences, you have your lab. Go to government institutions and see how defunded public institutions are. Look at the kind of graduates we churn out. How many of our universities are in top 10 all over the world? We are not proud, even in Africa.
Right.
How many of our public universities, even in Nigeria, within the context of this nation, how many of our universities are in top 10 among other universities, public universities? Now you come over to the next agenda, which is why do you want NYSC to be 2 years?
No, he said it's for skill acquisition. That's the main thing.
It's
his only reason, really.
It was for it was two major reasons. The first was for job, and the other was for skill acquisition. Now, I can tell you for free that in the case of skills acquisition, a fool at 40 is fool forever. You understand? How do you imagine that at the point you're supposed to, look at China, look at the United States, because they use those ones, just like the PA to the President Buhari, Tinubu, told us that, with $1 you cannot get.
We're coming to that. As a matter of fact, we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And when we come back, we will be talking about debt management and Nigeria's recent public debt. Stay with us.
Okay, it's all right. Thank you.
In 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Ride with Furnitures. Come with me as I show you some of our masterpiece. Over here is a 3-seater semi-skin leather. It has a 10 years warranty and is water resistant. So over here it's a L-shaped cotton fabric chair. Very good for your living room. And this is our Odogo bed with an orthopedic mattress. Very good for relaxation and for your honeymoon. Then over here is our executive table for office use. You can contact us on the number showing below and our address. Thank you.
Welcome back. The program is still Trends with LJE. On to our next topic of discussion. The Debt Management Office of Nigeria has announced that Nigeria's total public debt has surged by 48.58%, now standing at 144.67 trillion naira as of December 2024, a sharp rise from 97.34 trillion naira recorded at the end of 2023. In the face of this, President Tinubu's Special Advisor on Economic Affairs, Dr. Tokbe Fasua, in a recent interview stated that $1 is equivalent to 1,500, is enough to get you a meal in Nigeria, unlike the United States. Does this perspective reflect economic reality or is it political spin? And how concerned should we be about our debt trajectory? Because this is a sharp, almost 50% increase over the course of 1 year. And to his point about $1 being enough to have, a meal, is this a reductive view of micro and macroeconomics? I'm going to start with you, Chidi.
First of all, the SA, that is a very big insult. We deserve an apology from him, every Nigerian, to our collective sense of responsibility, to our collective, sensibilities. That is an insult. You cannot tell us when things are going sour, you pick an irrelevant theme, subject, line, relate it with abroad. After that, you come and give us excuse and say, we should. Initially, when fuel was sold at 197 naira, right, under Buhari, the Buhari cabinet came and told us that we are very lucky that abroad is sold for as high as, because they did the conversion.
What is this continuous comparison with countries that are doing better than we are?
If you want to do comparison, make it holistic. And please, Nigerians are seeing beyond what you're saying. Because make the comparison. Look at the economy of other nations. You're talking about United States. Let's talk about United States now.
Really?
Let's talk about United States. Look at what the president is doing. Donald Trump is saying America first. And there are tariffs to ensure that imbalanced trade deficits across board, all countries are what are addressed. The monies are pouring in. He is saying Hyundai company just invested over $1 trillion, about $1 trillion in the economy of United States. Other companies are coming. Apple, that is out of United States, is coming in. And there is DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, headed by Elon Musk, is cutting government fraud, waste, and ensuring that there's efficiency. And almost $1 trillion point something will be saved. Their national external debts are being reduced. Every second, every minute is there on the website. You said that have been, termed to an apparently that support terrorism globally is shut down. because they want to deal with terrorism. The global trade network that is being dismantled by Houthis, terrorist group, as designated by United States, they are being shut down every minute as we speak now in the Red Sea. That is a responsible government. And what do?
We compare the dollar.
We come to compare. And look, there is the tariff, the Trump tariff that is affecting Nigeria. What are we supposed to do? The government is supposed to sit down here and address our economic problems and see how we can diversify our economy and ensure that non-oil export component of the economy is harnessed. Right. We should also look at how we can be more productive so that this 24% tariff, reciprocal tariff and the baseline tariff will not affect us. This, to tell you how we don't even matter. Nigerians don't even matter to them. Tinubu had to leave, your president had to leave Nigeria to go and think about Nigeria issue in France. You imagine the kind of joke we've turned into. Now, look at France. How is France's economy like? People are leaving Nigeria every day to go to United States, to go to France. And you cannot make Nigeria to be like that. The way Natasha was insulted and dehumanized her humanhood, representing all women and Nigerians, including the Oloi Polloi, the common man. How is it done in the US? Is that how it's done? A whole Trump was impeached, was indicted, and was. Can you do that in Nigeria? Let us compare. Let us compare our current GDP. Let us look at the fact that your current Minister of Power, his whole qualification is in finance and was a CBN director at some point. Let us look at the fact that even the police that we are celebrating today, they cannot even boast their take-home allowance. Is nothing to write home about. Look at our lecturers.
Absolutely.
A whole professor is earning less than 400,000, 300,000, less than that, and living in slums. And you have agboros, thugs, who have no relevance, no economic relevance, and then you find them in political space, and they're earning billions.
Absolutely.
And they're stealing monies, and you ask us to keep quiet.
Dr. Chris,
please.
Yes, I want to comment on the sharp rise of the debt, particularly in the area of our country indebtedness. And looking at it, the money that they are borrowing all this while, it was still the government that told us that the revenue is being used to service the debt. That means Nigeria as a country does not have anything to take care of its people. Development-wise, if you don't have money, that means there won't be room for development.
Right.
So the money they are borrowing, where is it reflecting in the life of the people? I've always mentioned people each time I'm commenting because I feel we are in democracy, and democracy centers around the people.
Right.
Government of the people, for the people, by the people. Now, somebody would always criticize Trump. Trump says, America first. Trump, for me, is practicing democracy. It is his people first. And that is why all he's doing centers around America and Americans. So for me, Trump and what he does epitomizes democracy, because there is every nook and cranny of his government has a presence of the people in whatever he does. So now, bringing our own home, what is this, our government, doing for us? Where is the democracy in the borrow or the whatever money they are borrowing from the IMF and World Bank? What is the place of the people? I've always said this because they say we're in democracy. There is no democracy in Nigeria so long as I'm concerned, because I have tried to phantom the place of the people in whatever our government does. I couldn't see any. So this is what I'm saying. They should stop deceiving us. If they want to sell this country to other nations of the other countries of the world, like America and China, they can sell.
And give us our percentage.
And give us whatever is due to us.
Yes, give us our percentage so that the masses will know their share. and on time we start investing perhaps in United States that they are comparing us with. Because I can tell you that democracy, like you mentioned, that's just simplistic to say. Of course,
I want
but on Tinubu said Emiloko, it is his own turn, so it's not for the people.
Well,
that's what it means.
Well, I would like to hear your thoughts from 97.34 trillion naira to 144 in the space of 1 year. That is astronomical. What are your thoughts?
It's just like they say in local parlance, see finish. These guys, they have really seen us finish. We can't do anything. I think just like you mentioned in your opening comments where you said, I think there is a movement that want to organize protests today or something.
It's ongoing,
It's ongoing, right?
It's ongoing, yeah.
And I heard the police making a statement that they are trying to advise them not to go with the protests. This is a country where they want to kill everybody. They don't want you to speak up. If you are comparing Nigeria with America, what kind of development do we have in Nigeria? Can we point anything that Tinubu government has really done for Nigeria? Absolutely nothing. No major industry, no major factory. There is nothing, there's no company that this government has influenced into this country in terms of manufacturing, production. Nothing.
Zero.
We're not manufacturing or producing any gadgets, nothing. And you want to compare Nigeria with America. He's not looking at, can you even buy a plate of meal for 1,500? Except himself, he went is he SA?
He's the special advisor to the president.
Special advisor. Can he advise the president?
It's funny.
Does he have access to the president?
If he does.
What's he advising the president on? No, the man who is making that comment, has he sat down with the president to discuss?
1,005 is enough for you to eat.
That is what.
Can he tell me?
Go and eat at the Hilton.
Can he tell me if he has spent 1,500 to eat in the last 1 year himself in 1 meal?
No, he should mention where he went to eat.
So that we can confirm.
So that we can go there and also eat too.
Yes.
And confirm the validity of his pronouncement.
No, we don't need validity now. We just need to eat.
I think
because we are hungry.
These guys, they're just taking Nigerians for a ride.
Yeah, absolutely.
They are taking Nigerians for a ride. And I think this high time they begin to think like humans. We can't continue like this.
Absolutely not.
We can't. It's not possible.
On to our final topic of the day. The Supreme Court has ruled that Julius Abure is not the national chairman of the Labour Party. The unanimous decision delivered last Friday nullifies the Court of Appeal's earlier decision and has triggered pushback from a faction still loyal to Abure and has sparked renewed intra-party tensions. Since this is about the court, I'm going to come to you, Barrister Meme. What does this mean for the Labour Party's stability going forward, especially as we inch closer to another election year? It feels like these are the kind of issues that will, even though the Supreme Court has already ruled, will still create internal tensions. What are your thoughts?
Well, I've not had the opportunity of going through the Supreme Court's ruling or the judgments.
Right.
But if that is what the Supreme Court have ruled, that means then that is judgment of the Supreme Court, and the court judgment must be obeyed. But from my experience about these Labour Party issues, we've watched how this thing have lingered over the years. And I remember when I was in Young Democratic Party, YDP, at that time in Edo State, I remember a very good friend of mine who was the Labour Party chairman of Labour Party in Edo State at that time. The young man who was at that time the Labour Party chairman, as of 2016, is still the Labour Party chairman in Edo State today. So that is to show you the kind of democracy they practice in that party.
Right.
So I think the Supreme Court must have considered so many things, so many factors and everything brought before the courts in arriving such a decision. So I believe that is the Labour Party themselves need to sit down to look at the internal structure.
Right.
There must be the possibility of successive people coming in to run the system. You cannot be a national chairman forever. If the party is in crisis, leadership crisis, as a leader or the chairman of the party, you can step aside and allow the party to run effectively. But if you want to hold on to the power, you want to assume that you are the only one that can rule the party, then you create opportunity for anarchy. And I think that is what the Labour Party is facing at the moment. Of course, you've seen some of the members they elected in National Assembly are already leaving the party. So it therefore means that their labor is now going in vain.
Dr. Chris, the Supreme Court has held that the issue of leadership is an internal affair of the party, over which courts lack jurisdiction. As such, it has allowed the appeal filed by Senator Nenadi Usman, and one other held that it was meritorious. Thoughts?
Yes, just like the president just finished his position, by saying that one cannot be, you cannot know it all. In recent time, I've come to know for over 4 or 5 years that Labour Party has come to the political space after the 2023 election, thereabout. Labour Party started having name in the political space of Nigeria. Julius Aburere, he has been there for a long time. And, if you love your party so much and you are the political type that love your party, at least you give room for other people to man the affairs
I don't
of the
think
party.
it's so much a love of party as it is a love of power.
No, that's why you're saying that it is, just like I said earlier, whatever you see our politicians do, they are doing it. Ask me, is Julius doing it for the people in his village or for the people of Nigeria? Everything centers about himself.
Right.
So if I am to advise him, he should apply the sportsman spirit in the race and congratulate the next person in the office.
Who is the next person now?
The secretary.
Senator Nenadi.
Okay,
Senator
Nenadi.
Nenadi.
Not the Apapa.
No.
Okay.
No.
So he has to congratulate the next person.
Apapa is a container is just he's there to be cleared in Apapa.
So he has to congratulate the next person in power
You do more than
and
this too much.
let Labour Party be, because doing this, they've given opportunity to APC to have a free ride come 2027. So they should put their house in order, so as to form a formidable front and play the role of opposition party.
And besides, let me also add this to it. Sometimes I think this is a country where we do not really have viable political parties. And some of these national chairmen of these political parties just believe the only role they have to play is to, assess the aspirants, collect money for farms, conduct elections, no programs, no trainings, no initiatives, nothing, no ideology, nothing. And you want to remain there as a national chairman, just for you to be paraded as a national chairman. This is not how democracy works. Every political party, and this is a call for Nigerian political parties, they must begin to initiate programs that will assist the people. It is not, if not for P2B, who knows the Labour Party, there's nothing like Labour Party.
Absolutely.
So P2B came in to influence the Labour Party and is now riding on that. We saw a lot of controversies, a lot of issues raised around his leadership.
Right.
But if as the chairman of the party, you are being innovative, bringing up ideas on how he's not even leading any fronts in terms of as a political party. Of course, we know the PDP is gone. Even the APC is gone. These are not political parties. So we expect those political parties, those last smaller political parties should come up with ideas that can interest Nigerians. Lead with example, not just because you want to hold on to power, you are the national secretary, you are the chairman of the party, the state chairman, doing nothing. Just collecting money from people who want to contest local government election, House of Assembly, National Assembly,
Collecting offering.
the collecting offering and all of those things. That's all you are doing as a political party. We can't survive as a country with this kind of political parties that we have. It's not possible. It's not sustainable.
In addition to what he has said,
We're at the end.
yes, at the end. Yeah, just one line. Please, the people should rise up and be politically active.
Right.
Enough of good persons, whether you're in the church, whether you're in the industry, please come join these people. We cannot allow those who do not have our collective interest to man our ship. We cannot allow these people to be there. So it's affecting us. If we have good people, majority of the good persons that have good intentions for this country, they should join political parties, and people should be more united now than ever before, because our country is already sinking.
Right.
We need help very quick from good people. Good people.
Gentlemen, I want to thank you so much, Barrister Meme, for donating your time to me today. And of course, you, the viewer, because we have come to the end of this edition of Trends with LJE. Big thank you once again to our panelists, and of course, you for joining the conversation.
Thank you.
You can continue to share your thoughts with us on our social media handles showing on your screen. You can make comments. You can even suggest conversation topics for us to dive into here. I am Imuna Hoysa. Until I come your way again on Wednesday, stay safe, stay informed, and keep asking the right questions. Bye for now.